Well, welcome back to part 3 of the Ferguson Home Unscripted. We hope that you've been enjoying these videos, and we're going to jump into the last set of questions that Barry and I had for each other, and hope you enjoy this conversation. All right, last question.
Okay.
I'm not sure how you're going to do with this one. How do I help my wife be on time when we're supposed to be somewhere?
Should I go get my sign that says, I don't even believe myself when I say I'm going to be ready in 5 minutes?
That's right.
Okay, ask it again.
How do I help my wife be on time when we're supposed to be somewhere? And this is actually my question. I'm just kidding. It's not my question.
Probably.
It's a question we got, but it is a struggle.
Can I just take a moment to talk about the positive side of people who are chronically late? Have you heard or read any articles? So really, they're the truly optimistic people around you, and they're just really, they love life, and they're very optimistic of what they can get done in a short amount of time.
Go ahead.
Really,
give me that list of self-justification.
Really, you should be really thankful for me, is what I'm saying. You should be thankful for that glass half full life personality.
Yeah. You always think we can get there in 2 minutes.
Yeah. You just, I don't know. You've tried a lot of different ways.
Just give up? Is that your answer? Just stop trying to fight this battle? It's
one of those that all hope is lost. I don't know. It's been ingrained in me a long time. I would say if you know your wife is like me and lives life to the fullest in like a very short amount of time, then you might just kind of notice what things need to be done. So for me, one of the biggest blessings is that when we're getting ready to go somewhere, I want my home to be picked up before we leave, right? I haven't changed. It's been my method. All my kids, I'm pretty sure my 4-year-old would be able to communicate or articulate that mom likes the house picked up before we walk out of the door. So I get so exasperated because I'm like, y'all all know this about me. When I run up, and usually I wait till the end to get ready, right? So then maybe if you're the husband, you can just switch your deal and you could get ready early, knowing that you'll be downstairs ready to help get the kids in the car and kind of help pick up, because you know that your wife is probably going to wait till the last 5 minutes before leaving to go get ready, because we've put everybody else first. I mean, I'd say it too, kind of.
I think too, I guess the encouragement I give to the husbands out there is communicating, and part of what I hear in this question, is communicating to your wife.
What you hear in your head as you wrote the question?
This is what I really meant when I wrote it.
I know.
No, I did not write the question. What you want to communicate, I think, to your wife is when there's an event or something that you're going to that you really need to be early for or on time for, and so because some things it's not a big deal if you're 5 or 10 minutes late, but some things it is, and helping. Why are you looking at me that way when I'm answering this question? Man, I'm very uncomfortable all of a sudden. So anyway, I think telling your wife whenever that timeliness is really important, so that she knows it's important to you.
Or if you want to go hardcore, then you change all the clocks everywhere for 5 minutes fast. I will say that.
Or take 2 vehicles.
Yeah, which we do that for church. Yeah. So I don't know, just work with her and be thankful for how optimistic she is. Just look
see the positive.
That's right.
All right, good.
Okay.
What's your last question?
Oh yeah, I get one. Okay, what are specific things a wife can do that will make their husbands feel respected? Because the whole love and respect that.
Get places on time.
I walked right into that one.
Yes, she did.
I just lobbed you the softball.
You just gave me the softball.
That was great. I know. So good. Okay.
All right. How do you practical things
Take
you could do?
off.
Practical things you can do. I think the biggest thing, this would be a whole other video, is how you talk about your husband when he's not around.
Yeah.
And so, we joke all the time, when a group of wives get together and they want to say, you can believe our husbands do X, Y, Z. That's a very normal thing for women to do. The problem with that is those kind of gripe fest, really get back to your husband, and that spirit really tears him down. And so I would say just, be very careful about what you say and how you say it to your peers and your friends about him. And sometimes even, Barry said earlier, the joking jab like has a little bit of a edge to it because there's really truth underneath it. And so I would just be careful when you're with a group where he's there and you kind of make a joke about it. Just know that those words can really pierce, you know, and he may not say anything or show anything, but they do. And so that's number one. I think number two, you know, we talked about the sex thing earlier. I think, you know, a man feels respected whenever he is not belittled for his sexuality. And so, like we said, there's totally valid reasons why a wife would say, hey, not tonight, not right now, you know, whatever. Yeah. And a husband needs to be sensitive to that. I just would go the other way and say, you know, for a wife, whenever she kind of, you know, makes little comments to him about his sexuality, that's very disrespectful. And so just how a wife talks to a husband about his sexuality and sex drive is really important. And then I think third, too, one of the most practical things where a husband would feel respected is when a wife would really engage him on finances, you know, because that's a thing that typically, again, I'm kind of stereotyping, it's not always true because sometimes it goes the other direction, but typically the husband's more thinking about that, concerned about that, and our spend and save and did all this stuff. And so I think for a wife to be on the same page with her husband about that makes him feel respected and not like, oh yeah, okay, honey, whatever. And then she goes and does whatever she wants to financially, and it's like, you know, pull your hair out kind of thing. So I think being on the same page with your husband, those are just a few small things. There's other things that I think make a man feel respected, but those are some kind of daily practical things that I think a wife can do.
I'm curious because you didn't mention this one, but I've always tried to really speak highly of you in front of our kids, and I've always wanted them to hear me affirming you, where I'll say stuff in front of them to let them know how much I esteem you. Does that bless you, or
Absolutely.
Is that not a big deal?
Oh, it's a huge deal. Yeah, no, it's very affirming and encouraging. Yeah, when you say those things to the kids. And yeah, again, it's back to the first point about kind of your words, but it's in the home context, you know, whereas I was talking about around your peers, but that's another time where your words with the children can impact, you know, the way a husband feels respected or disrespected, you know.
Yeah, and just like we say, if you have a friend who every time you get with them, they're telling you all the gossip about all the other friends, there's always a little check in your spirit, like, I'm not going to really share. Like, you kind of know if she's talking and telling me all this stuff, then she's going to be telling another friend about all my stuff. Well, it's the same way if a husband hears their wife, if all of a sudden their wife knows about other marriages and what's going on and what the men are doing, he's going to be pretty smart to realize, okay, if my wife's partaking in all these conversations and knows what's going on with their husbands, then he's going to probably connect the dots like, well, my wife is part of that and probably sharing what's going on. So just remember that, like, we use your words for life, and you don't need to hear about other husbands and what they're doing bad, and for sure you don't want to talk negatively about your husband to others, because it just doesn't build up. And Ephesians, why am I blanking? 4:29. It says that we use our words, whatever is helpful, and that will build others up. And so if you're using your words for anything else, then just stop.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I hope this unscripted video has helped you guys.
Might be the only one.
We've had fun doing it. And again, if you've enjoyed this, we appreciate you sharing this on social media with your friends in your network, or subscribing to our YouTube channel and leaving us a comment. What kind of questions would you like to hear us answer, interact over, and what would be helpful to you in your life and your marriage and with your family? So we love you, and I really pray blessings on you today as you go about your day.